What is up, everyone? Oh, okay, Holly. Yeah, we know we're late.
Mhm.
So many
What?
people
What?
here.
1 minute? 1 minute late?
Yeah, like not
Mm.
20 minutes late like some other people, but we got the obsoletus. We got Rena, we got Rose, Andy, Hummer Muffin, that Michelle, Stacy Morgan, Amanda C, Audrey W. Hey, thanks everybody. Oh,
Punkette.
the ambassador Punkette. All right.
Oh, that's an update to the name. Taylor.
Yeah. So we got some people watching. Cool. So we have had we had a busy week, and then I came back and had a really busy week. So yeah.
And I've done nothing.
And you've done nothing but watch footage over and over again.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. I went on a hot date, so that was fun.
There you go.
I at least got to go and do that, right?
There you go.
Um,
That's fun.
yeah. So let's talk about all the stuff that we're going to discuss tonight and just kind of let people know what's going on. I know a lot of people have questions about like the Conjuring house and that, but tonight we're going to solely focus on the Lizzie Borden house because that's the footage that we've been able to get through so far. And as we get through more, we'll start talking about more, but we got so much stuff to kind of discuss and give our thoughts on. And we want everybody in chat to also um, give us, their thoughts on what they saw, questions on what they saw. And at some point, we will bring people up if they want to come up and actually have a discussion. So,
Yeah. So yeah, I think what we'll probably start with is questions. People can ask questions in chat as we're kind of going over some of the footage, and then we'll drop the link and bring some people
yeah.
up to discuss. Um, but I will say for me, this is the house that changed my life. I'm now officially obsessed with this case, with the Lizzie Borden case, and I feel like a super intense connection to that house. And it's just what opened my eyes to the whole. I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but I think enough happened that night that
Yeah.
we weren't
Like,
expecting at all.
so to put everybody's, where our thoughts were, what's up, Wolfie? What's up, Heather? Um, when we planned this trip, right? We did research on what places were active, and the Lizzie Borden house, although it kept coming up like as like the top place to go, I know we were on the same page that we thought it was just a tourist trap.
Oh yeah. We were like, "Oh, that'll be cool just to say we stayed there in the infamous murder house," but we didn't think as far as
No.
go I don't think either of us thought as far as like first time ghost hunting or paranormal investigating that we were gonna even necessarily find one thing.
Mm-mm. I thought we were going to
Um
Scooby Doo that shit.
yeah, like, oh, exactly, like just debunk everything.
Yeah.
Which there's plenty of things that we have debunked and that we were debunking, I think, in the process. Things we're looking at that we have been able to debunk after the fact. But there's one thing that's really hard to debunk, and it's also the hardest thing I think to talk about with an audience, and that's the feelings that you get being touched physically, the things that you can only like describe. Um, hey, thank you everyone for joining us.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think we should start. I'm gonna warn everybody. Um, if you can't hear the audio, I need people to let us know in chat. And if that's the case, I'm just gonna have to take my headphones out and we'll do it without the audio because this is the first time I've shared.
So do I
Um,
can actually just sit back and not do anything, huh?
yeah, I think.
This is nice. I'm
Except tell me that
happy.
you can hear.
I'm happy that I gave you control of my channel. Like I
Yeah.
could just. Oh,
Um, for anybody who didn't watch the lives in real time with us, or who maybe need a refresher, when we first got to the Borden house, we did a daytime tour. It was a
Mhm.
guided tour, and we learned a lot about the history and some of the theories, I guess, because as you all know, this is the Borden murders are officially an unsolved case. And we were just saying that the other day. We were talking. We're like, in the true crime world here on YouTube, like, why is
We're
nobody
claiming the
like
Borden.
super?
We're
Yeah, we
claiming
are
the
claiming
Borden
the
story. We
Bordens.
are
No
doing. We are going to do a docu-series on the Lizzie
dibs.
Borden case.
Oh,
Dibs.
you just dropped that shit,
Yeah,
huh?
I
I
did.
didn't
I
know if that
did
was a
just drop
surprise.
that. No, I
Okay,
dropped that because I wanted to get that out there real quick. Copyright trademark.
that'll be coming. We licked it. It's not yours. Um, okay. So I think what I'm going to pull up first are just a few photos that we took, or that I took, during that day tour. These are from the basement. And
Mhm.
this will just be a good test to see if I can share a screen. So share
All of Boston's
screen.
porn pops up.
I was just going to
All
say, I'm
all
really
all
nervous
your
about this.
all your bird porn just pops right up.
Okay, let's see. This is the first one. Y'all
That
can see
looks like
this.
a face. Like, do you see that? Like, I see two eyes, like
Where you where you
between the
could
top of the rope where it's shadow. Yeah, you can't see where I'm pointing at my screen.
yeah, I just
Um,
realized you can't see where I'm pointing either. Here, hold on. Like right here?
yes, like two. No, that's the nose. That's the outline of the
Oh, I
nose.
see. The
Two
nose.
eyes right above it.
Okay.
Yeah, like there. That's an
Yep.
eye. There's another eye, and then those are like teeth. Like you almost had it on the other side to the right of that rope.
Yeah,
The teeth start and the mouth open.
I can see
That's
it. Although he
and
didn't face plant on the floor, so that wouldn't make a whole lot of
no,
sense. But
no. I mean, I'm not saying that's like
whoa,
a picture of his
whoa.
face. Jesus Christ, Boston, what the fuck?
Sorry guys, I'm new at this. All right, so if you guys can see, this is the infamous blood stain, and this is in the basement of the Borden house, and it's right above the couch where Andrew Borden was murdered. Um,
Mhm.
you can see, I think that the white, considering bleach and whatever products have been used over the years to try to clean, I'm assuming the white is where the blood is rather than the dark. You can literally see it dripping down right here. I think those kind of look like fingers, and that's creepy.
Yeah, yeah, I see that too.
Yeah, but even out here, it's just this whole area.
Hmm.
Um,
That was a
bad
lot of
news.
blood. That was a lot of
It's a lot of
blood.
it's a lot of blood. Let me go to the next one. Um, does anyone have any questions about that?
Yeah, while you're doing that, I can look at questions and
Okay.
bring those up if anybody has them. And you can keep talking.
All right.
Where was that?
Yes. So this is a little glass case that was in the basement next to the washer and dryer. And it's
No
stuff
shit.
that they had found on the property, I believe. Um, I want to make a note here about the Charles Trafton house. Um, so I don't want to give everyone the whole history of the Lizzie Borden case because we're gonna go delve into that in the docu series. Um,
Yeah.
but a little kind of unknown fact that a lot of people don't know about the Bordens is that their family history has a really dark past. Um, Charles Trafton is a relative of Ludwig Borden, who is Andrew Borden's uncle. Ludwig Borden was married to had several wives, but was married to a woman named Eliza Borden. They lived right next door to the Borden house. They lived there actually before the Borden house was even built. Right next door. I'm talking like, oh, that's not a good example, but you know what I mean. They were very, very
Mhm.
close to each other. And Eliza Borden, went mad. She had three small children with a period of 4 years, and she drowned two of them to death in the basement on their property, committed suicide herself with her husband's straight razor. Um, and that is the
So
woman that
Eliza
is
killed
full
him in the
custody.
basement
But of her house.
of her house, right? And then it
Which is-
went under
right.
the property to the Borden's house.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay.
Trafton is the name of relatives of the Bordens who Ludwig built the house next door for, which
Gotcha.
then 2 generations later became the Lizzie Borden house where the murders were. So looks like a glare. My eyes are so shit. Yeah. So there is definitely a big glare on this. It's glass. But that's why I took that picture, because I have since been doing a lot of research into who Charles Trafton is. Yeah, Rena is really good at finding faces. All right. Speaking of finding faces, should I make this full screen, or I can zoom in on it?
I don't know. I would let it get unpixelated
Whoop.
first because it looks like it's trying to pixelate.
Does it?
Yeah, like it's really low res. It's slowly catching up now.
Fine to me.
Oh, now I can see it, but no, now it went back out.
What the hell?
It's fine. Just leave it. Don't fuck with it. Don't.
So can people see the face?
Yeah, when it doesn't blur out, it keeps going in and out.
What the hell? That's weird.
I can see the face there. So they would scrub the walls. They allow us to touch the walls. They allow us to inspect the walls. No matter what, though, if you use a flash from whatever angle, you're seeing that face on that wall.
Yeah, and what's important about this area of the house, this is also in the basement. That's a wash basin. Right in front of the face on the ground. And it was it the day after the murders or the day before? Not the day before. What I mean is the day of. I believe it was the night after the murders.
Yes.
Yeah, so like the day after the murders had happened, Lizzie was under house arrest. So they hadn't arrested her, but they basically said, like, you can't leave your house. You look pretty sus. All of their windows were open. You'll see in one of these videos, Chris and I sitting on the side of the house, and we have a perfect view into the basement windows. And a police officer saw Lizzie down there washing blood in that basin, basically washing cloths with blood and clothes with blood. And the police asked her about it, and she said she had the fleas, which back then was a nice way of a lady being like, I'm on my period. And because that was very something, like, obviously even to this day men get creeped out about, the police officer was just like, okay, cool, bye. So yeah. All right, what's next? Let me go back to the gallery here, so I don't want to waste too much time. So this might be our first video. It doesn't have a preview, but this, we'll see if we can hear. It's loading.
Taylor, I would think, honestly, I don't know, because I can't say that when the flashes were going off with the camera, I saw it with my naked eye. I could only see it after the picture was taken.
Oh, it takes so long to load.
I think because we're live and you're using internet.
Oh, here we go. Can you hear it?
I can.
Can you guys in chat hear that okay?
So what we're listening to is a spirit box going, and as you see, that EMF reader is reading something. The cat ball was going off on its own.
Okay, so the cat ball just went off on its own. I'm holding an EMF reader. Mine was really low on battery. The first one I used.
I heard which one?
Which one? The one on the.
I think that might be it. I don't think it goes off a second time.
Yeah,
but we were lucky enough to catch that one on camera.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Oh no, it's still going.
So no one's moving.
Thank you. The one up
we're
there
all
near
far
me.
enough away from it. Even the EMF reader was full. Well, it wasn't full, but we were like mid-level with the EMF reader, and it was after whatever it was close, backed away, that ball lit back up.
Right. And so it sucks that my EMF reader's in shot here in this video because mine was almost completely drained with battery. But other people's in the room, the people sitting next to me as well, theirs were at mid-level, which was like the orange color, which you guys will see later on that's a pretty strong reading. Usually it just picks up like a low green, which is the first level.
There's Robert, right? I heard the name Robert.
My dad's name. I just
Well, I
heard
just
you are.
doxed my dad.
Yeah, I heard you are.
Do you see
Is
how
it Robert?
much that
No, not
maxed
out.
Yeah, but so again, mine, I turned it on and off. When you turn it on and off, it goes up like that, but then it
Okay.
kept going all the way out. That's why I had to get a new one because he said a lot of those batteries were drained. He had a box of like 50 of them.
Oh yeah, there were so many.
Yeah, so that's a cat ball. We played around with a cat ball when we first got to the house, and one went off, and we walked over to it. We had it sat on a chair. We shook the chair. We stomped. You had to really shake that thing for it to go off. And like Chris said, nobody's moving at this point. We're all sat in the parlor around that ball on chairs and sofas and everything.
And I know we kind of talked about before we went on the tour. When did we already talk about that today? Before we went on the tour, we had the ball in the room, and it went off.
That's what I just was referencing.
Okay, yeah. I mean, like I really tried to set that off. I was stomping my feet. That one time I actually grabbed the chair and physically shook it, and it took quite a few shakes for that thing to go.
Yeah, that's exactly what I just said.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I'm happy I was listening.
I was just gonna say it's cool. It's cool.
It's cool.
Oh, let me go. All right, so let's go. These may be out of order. Because these were all just iPhone clips that I took, and this was nothing that we shared on the live. Whoop. Give it a second to load. Sorry. For some reason, these ones are all taking forever to load, but the longer ones don't. Send me the video. I'm going to highlight what I see in it and see if I can see anything else. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
I got a little.
That was
sucks,
me,
man.
right?
Yours is completely gone off.
Yeah,
The
this
only
is
time
you.
I seen that go off like that is you put it in your.
Yeah, I've owned this since May.
That won't go off for nothing like that.
And then they blame me. Do you got that in the video? When they're like, "It's you, dude. It's you."
I might be in the next one because that one was going off. That's a different kind of EMF reader.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the multicolored lights, but it has red bars. And if the red bars are all the way out to the sides, then they're fully charged. And if they're only a little bit at the inside, they're not. This might be the one where they blame you. Or it could be a repeat of the first one. We'll see.
And this is before we snuck into the basement. So nothing was on me at this point.
No, but we had already started communicating.
But I didn't feel like anything bad that we had talked to.
No, there was something in this room. And
oh yes, there was 100% something in this freaking room.
Thank God. For what? Oh my God, I never saw it.
Me neither.
The only time I see it go off like that is you put it in that chicken more.
Yeah.
this is when he says, "It's you, dude."
This is what it's been doing at the end of my back.
And in the shower.
Oh no.
I did not use that shower, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not going to keep playing this because I don't think anything else happens in that clip. But those were the 3 clips I took on my phone at the time. Yeah, there was no way I would have used that shower either. Okay. So the next one we're going to play is kind of long. Do we want to invite someone up?
No.
just go.
I don't want to have other people up while the video's going, because I want to be able to just stop the video and talk ourselves, and then after
Okay.
we show the videos, we can bring people up and just have a discussion.
Okay.
But feel free, if you have questions about the videos in chat, feel free to put them.
Yeah, so you keep an eye on chat. So we had done at this point, you guys can see on the Lizzie Borden House Part 1 on the same channel, the Great American Horror Road Trip. You can see the full video of where these clips come from. So a lot of this is probably nothing new that you've seen. I just want us to go through these specific moments. They're like noteworthy moments of things that happened to us and kind of pause them along the way, and Chris and I can talk about what we were experiencing. So this first one is, as you're all probably familiar with at this point, if you've been watching us, is the Estes method. It was the first time I had done it on my own. I knew how to do it. I've done it before at home. Did we practice it before any
Um,
tours?
I mean,
I don't think
yeah,
we did.
we
We
tried it
did the
for a
dowsing
second.
rod.
We tried it. Oh no, I'm talking about before we even went on the trip.
Oh yeah. No, I
Yeah,
meant like
no,
during the trip.
we
Yeah.
didn't do any of that on our own the first night.
Yeah, so this was the first time during the trip that we were introduced to that, and I raised my hand that I really wanted to do it when he asked if anyone wanted to do it. But this was after we had already done a tour of the house, which included the basement. I think you guys, again, those who are coming back to us from when we did that live, we had stayed in the basement and asked quite a lot of questions, especially this one guy on our tour. He was really good at asking questions, and we weren't getting any responses.
Nothing.
Um,
The feeling didn't. To me, when we were in the basement with the group, it was a little bit of a heavy feeling, but it wasn't.
Nothing bad
Yeah,
at that point.
it felt like you were in a creepy place.
Right. Yeah.
That's about
Creepy,
it.
iffy. It
Yeah,
smelled
you didn't
musty
feel
and
energy. You didn't feel no weird energy. It was just you were in a creepy basement that was supposedly haunted. We heard nothing.
mhm,
We saw we took the picture of the basin bowl.
mhm.
Um,
But that was pretty much it. But the reason I bring that
mhm,
up is that questions were asked in the basement because after you watch this clip, there is going to be a point where you're going to hear the guide who was with us. You're going to hear him say and kind of remind us that almost all the questions that were asked in the basement that we weren't getting answers to, they were being answered through me here. And if no one knows how the Estes method works, basically you put on headphones attached to a spirit box, which a spirit box is radio frequencies in reverse or forward on AM or FM. Personally, I like reverse AM, and then you adjust the speed, and most of it's just kind of this white noise. It's really loud. Once in a while, you'll hear words. Some of those words, it sounds very clear to you that it's coming from a radio station, right? Like a DJ talking.
mhm.
Um, the words that you're supposed to say out loud are words that sound like they're purposeful and they're trying to be communicated to you. And I don't really know how else to describe the difference between the words, but you can just tell. It makes it clear, like, this is the word that you need to say. So I'm in this room. I'm going to be by myself. The door is going to be shut. The lights are going to be turned off. The rest of the group's going to go into a dark room. That's where we're going to see most of the footage. It's going to be dark. Keep an eye on the lights in the room
And
as I play this.
I want to address this question real quick before we get into the
Yeah.
video. Yes, so we haven't gone through all the footage. We're pretty much all the way through the Salem Inn stuff, starting the Colonial Inn. And I would say those 2 days were things that we found, things that we didn't hear. Like, one is a clip on the YouTube channel where you hear us talking and then you hear a distinct laugh. We didn't
Mhm.
hear that laugh at all. And we've found a few more shadows, orbs, stuff that we'll talk about in another episode. As for the Lizzie Borden house, pretty much everything happened right on camera.
Mhm.
And I mean, we were happy that we were able to show that, but there wasn't anything that we really caught. Um, that we
I'd say probably
didn't
the
notice
only
or talk about.
agreed, and I'd say probably the only reason that we'd come back at a later point and add on is once we're finished going through the EVPs. Because we've
Yeah, we
really
still do
just
have some.
started. Yeah, we just started on the EVPs, but I know for a fact I had that EVP with me everywhere in the Borden
Mhm.
house. So we will definitely touch back in on that. But let me play this. Hopefully there's not issues
Alright,
with
cool.
loading.
Can you turn the lights off?
Can you hear it okay?
Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Oh. So she's got the headphones on now. So it's a good time for us to kind of
I
get
think
into
so.
position and ask some questions. If you want to sit, you can stand if you like. Do we still have the cat balls around?
There's one in here. Here.
This is another thing. I'm just going to pause it real quick because it's so dark, and I had somebody ask this last night. Just kind of like the setup of the room, they thought all those lights went off on our table. So I know it's pitch black, but I'm in the parlor, which is the front room of the house. It's where they had the open casket funeral for Abby and Andrew Borden. They are in the sitting room, and Chris, were you sitting on the couch when all this was going down? Or were you on the
No,
floor?
I was on the floor the
Okay.
whole time.
Yeah. But in front of the boarding couch, right? I'm trying to picture
No, my
Oh.
back was to the door.
Your back
To the
was
door towards you.
where I was sitting. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
I was
but
facing
yeah,
the fireplace.
got it. Yeah, so the guide was in front of the fireplace. It doesn't matter where everyone was, but for the most part, everybody's in kind of a circle on the floor, and their EMF devices, their EMF meters, are kind of in a circle in front of them around the room. There's a cat ball in the middle of that circle. And you will once in a while see lights going off that are higher up. That is two people, I believe, were sitting in chairs, so their EMF was higher up with them in their hand. And there's another light that I couldn't really explain, but to me it looked like someone's cell phone. So just keep that in mind as you're watching, because I don't want a bunch of people being like, "What's that? What's that?" You know.
T-Bell,
It's
I
fine if
will
you do, but
go and look into this a little bit more and get you the clip so that you can highlight it for us.
that would be awesome. Yeah,
Right
That-
here.
that's really what we're looking for too. Is if people do notice things or see things,
Mhm.
to please let us know.
Other stuff.
Another thing I find really interesting is this whole time he put the headphones on me, right? And then left that room. This whole time I
So we're
haven't
here
said
to
a
close
single
the night.
word.
Do you want to hear anything that you want to share with us? Mr. Borden, I know you're usually in this room.
So I want to go and try to brighten this footage a little and see if there's anything that you can see, or if it's just at least two.
At least two.
See if there's anything we can see other than the spirit box lights.
Yeah, or at
not
least
the
just
EMF
kind
lights.
of give more to them, like, because they're just so dim.
Yeah, we
like you
can.
can hardly see them.
We can. It really is like just watching a black screen, but when the
Yeah.
lights go off, it hits at the right moment.
Cool.
So
All right.
sorry guys, it's kind of boring to watch a black screen, but really try to listen to my answers. Chris does a good job in real time repeating what I'm saying. And you did that with the other guy too, which I thought was smart. But again, I just wanted to note that whole time that Chris and I have just been kind of talking now, they were setting up the room. The guide was telling people like, yeah, we're going to kind of close the night off. We're all going to sit around in a circle. That whole time I was listening to the spirit box in the other room. I hadn't heard a word come to me yet. It was just that. Was that a good sound effect?
It sounded just like I was reliving
Okay.
it.
So I rewound it a little bit because I think it's really interesting that literally right after like his first, maybe second question, I get a word.
To what?
What is it?
We want to know who we're talking to. Can you tell us your name?
Please. Never. Police.
You guys hear it okay?
Mr. Borden.
I
You
can.
hear?
I can do. I just want to make sure that they can hear.
Is the cop or the detective here?
No.
Mr. Borden, do you know what happened to you? Were you actually sleeping?
Stuck in here.
There we go.
Who is stuck in here?
All right. So, Mr. Borden, do you know what happened to you? And then I say, stuck in here, and you see the cat ball go off. You might also notice that the EMF readers go from like a very light glow to a darker green. And that's because the EMF readers behind that ball light up. You are going to see one of those lights move in a minute, and that's because the person whose EMF reader was in front of them, they picked it up to look at it closer. But I wasn't in that room when that went off. Chris, were you? Oh, you're muted. Chris may have had to walk
Sorry.
away.
No, I
It's
had
okay.
to, I was taking care of an email.
I'm just wondering, did anyone move? Was there anything that could have debunked that going off that first time?
No. I mean, it was dark, but that was in the center of the room, and
Yeah.
there was enough space that I probably could have stretched out and not touched the people sitting across from each other. Like, we were so
Mhm.
far apart. We were all basically against different walls. So,
Right. And
no, there wasn't.
it looks even darker in this footage because you have the camera pointed towards the ground. But what you'll see, like when he stands up to go into the room to get me, or we're walking back and forth, if the camera tilts up, you can see light come from the street lights coming in through the curtains. Those windows didn't have blinds; they just had curtains that were kind of pulled to the side. So there is some light. You can see the other people in the room. So you, I'm sure, would have been able to notice or debunk that moment when the spirit ball went off. I'm going to press play again, but another thing I just want to say is while I'm having this experience in that room, I am hearing male and female voices. So even though the guide is continuing to speak to Andrew Borden, I want to make it very clear to everybody who's listening. I felt the voices that were coming to me were two voices from two different people trying to communicate. One was a female for sure, one was a male for sure. And there are going to be some moments where you kind of hear it back and forth, and it's kind of clear in the dialogue that maybe they're arguing with each other, or one's trying to be louder than the other.
What is your name?
Sam?
It's the second time we heard that name.
Sam.
Yeah.
Sam, you're stuck in here? Who are you? How old are you?
Sam. Sam. Never. Ever.
Never ever what, Sam? Did you do something?
What's up to all
What
those
did you
just
do?
joining us?
Hey, the obsoletist.
Mother.
Same one, little kids. Sam, are you a child?
Learn more.
Is that what your mother told you?
Yeah.
And who is your mother?
November.
So I'm going to pause this right here. Okay. Is it paused?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not hearing anything anymore.
That's weird. I still hear something. Huh. Okay. So, November. For anyone who wants to help the internet sleuths, I have been poring over newspaper articles about this house, about the property, about the Borden family in Fall River. There are multiple children that have died on this land. Sam, we find out later, is not the name of one of Eliza's children, who she murdered. And again, Eliza being the Borden relative who lived next door to the Borden house before the Bordens even ever moved in. There is no Sam. The children were Eliza, named after her mother, Maria, and Holden. And Maria's the only one who lived to survive that event. She was the oldest. I got this feeling that there were definitely children trying to talk to me, but then I got a feeling that there was something that was trying to shut them up. All right, I'll keep playing. It was Eliza surviving. Yeah, so we did find that connection. Somebody found out that Sam was actually the surviving daughter's husband, and he was a boarder at the Borden house before he ever met her or married her years later. So there's that weird connection. So that could be the Sam. It could be something completely different. We don't know,
Well,
but
here's the
that name
thing.
gives her
Like,
a
where
lot.
do you get that name from? Right? We're
Right.
talking about this universe. Me
Mhm.
and you know nothing about Eliza or Sam or that whole
Mm-mm.
storyline, right?
We had just that night we had just heard there was a woman next door who murdered her kids. Like that
Mhm.
was it.
And I don't even know if we knew her name at this point in the night.
We knew Eliza.
Did
But
we
they
know her
often just
name?
referred to her as just the lady in the basement.
Mm.
But the name Eliza we heard on the day tour. I believe the day tour guide told us. The night
Okay.
tour guide didn't tell us. I don't know if there was a reason or not that he didn't tell us, but yeah, let's keep playing. Sorry to interrupt over and over.
Is that when you were born? November? That's when I was born.
Oh, I never finished my thought.
What date?
Yes,
Flavor.
internet sleuths. I cannot for the life of me find. I can find the year that Eliza Borden killed herself and murdered her children. Hashtag trigger warning, by the way. I'm sorry. Um, I can find the year. I believe it was 1846. I cannot for the life of me find the month or the date. Been poring over news articles. The year's everywhere. It's on tombstones. It's mentioned in historical records, but I can't find the month, and I'm wondering if November has any significance to that event. So if people can, and it kept telling us learn more, learn more. So if people want to go on a little dig, and you can always email. Your email's in the link to the channel, right, Chris?
No.
Oh, it's
never
not?
on the channel. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. Well, you guys know how to reach out to us through Holly or whoever, or
I'll put it
make
in. I'll put it up on the
make
screen.
comments on this live. Yeah, if anyone finds any information regarding November and it having any kind of historical significance to not just Lizzie Borden's family, but also any Bordens or anyone in that property, that would be freaking awesome.
What number? What day?
Begin with
What letter?
Sam.
How old are you, Sam?
Satan. Holy
Wow.
Sam, are you afraid of Satan?
focus.
No, I feel like they were trying to tell you to focus.
Focus or repeat? What do you want us to repeat?
Something happened here. Holy shit. Satan.
Did Satan make you do it?
Maybe.
What did he make you do? What did he tell you to do? What did Satan tell you to do?
Satan.
What did Satan? What did Satan tell you to do?
Satan.
Is that
Now, I believe
Sorry.
that focus repeat was meant to you.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. So the way I heard that was, and I said, you can hear in my voice I start getting anxious. And there's a reason. That's because I cannot even tell the amount of times I said Satan wasn't even the amount of times I heard it. I heard it like twice as more as I was saying it. It was making me nervous to say it out loud every time. There was multiple different voices saying it. Mostly it was a man's voice. And when I first said Satan, it gave me the heebie-jeebies, right? And I got chills throughout my entire body. And then I heard focus, like a stern, and it was definitely talking to me. You also heard me say holy shit at one point. That was just me saying holy shit. I didn't
Yeah, I think
at that point I was like,
we all knew that it was
you
just
figured
you.
that out? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it starts getting very intense here, physically for me too in a moment. And it's basically because I'm being shouted at.
what you heard that night?
Babies. Satan.
Satan?
Okay, I'm getting really freaked out.
Did Satan make you kill your babies?
Might be a good
Mary?
Mary.
Who is Mary?
Yes. I just heard a female, yes, whisper.
So Satan made you kill your babies. What did Satan tell you to do? How did he tell you to kill your babies?
Together?
He killed them together.
That gave me chills.
Yeah, as soon as I press play, you're gonna hear you say, "Holy fuck!"
Yeah. So, like, I just want to just reiterate. So, what Boston is listening to is so incredibly loud. Like, I have bad hearing, and when I was in the Conjuring house and did it, I could hear it. Like, I could hear everything. And I'm assuming it was the same for you here, but you can't hear anything going on. Like, even if we were in the same room as you, I don't think you could hear, but we're in a completely different room.
And the door to my room shut, and I'm on the
Yeah.
opposite end. I'm at the very front of the house.
Mhm.
It was so loud that there are some moments where you can hear it going like you can hear
Yeah.
it on video, the noise that was in my ears. I'm gonna say that I very specifically said that was a woman's voice who said yes, and that was a woman's voice. I weirdly, because now we know we're talking to Eliza. Weirdly, I felt like it was very important for me to say that was a woman's voice. I'd been hearing women's voice, men's voice. This voice felt so specific and so not a part of the normal frequency. It was almost like it was whispering yes to me in my ear and not through the headphones. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
It almost felt like it was behind me whispering yes, or whispering yes in my head. It was really bizarre.
Yes.
Why? Why did he tell you to do it? I hear.
I just gasped because at this
It's
point,
okay. Tell us why.
at this point, my right,
We're very sorry that it happened.
yeah, my my right arm goes
Yeah.
completely
Oh.
cold.
Can you please pause it
Yeah,
and
This is
rewind just a
important.
few seconds?
Yeah, this is
Yes.
important.
It's
Do we want to talk about it before I say it?
So yeah, so you throw out a really everything else has been pretty like linear, asking a question, getting a response. Besides maybe the Sadans or whatever, but whatever it was telling you to focus and repeat. So even there, I felt like there was a pattern and we were having a cohesive conversation. But then you threw out the word village.
And I even, did you hear the inflection in my tone where I say it like a question? The village? Because it felt so weird to me. It was a very strange message, and it was male. That's important.
Okay, so that's important.
So let's hear me say it again, and we'll go back and talk about it.
Tell us why. We're very sorry that it happened.
The village? Yes.
The village, yes. So that's okay. Tell us why, right? At that point, you guys are communicating with this female, Eliza. And then when I say the village, it feels like it's a completely different person trying to talk now. That's a male voice. And are we going to explain the village now or wait until we get to the trees in the next video? Let's finish this clip. In the meantime, why don't you Google the Village Elms portrait behind the couch?
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I want you to address Holly's comment after.
Oh, yeah. Let me just address it now. That Eliza spared Maria, like she didn't survive. She wasn't even in the well. Is that true? So everything that I found, because this is the story, the Borden story is so interesting, but the Eliza Ludwig story is even more interesting to me because that was one of the strongest presences, that we felt at that house was Eliza, possibly the children. Holden was just born. I believe the youngest was about 3 months old. Baby Eliza was 2 years old. Maria, we don't have an age on, but we know that she had 3 kids within 4 years. So I'm assuming she was 3 or 4 years old. It says Maria survived in everything that I read. So I don't know if it means she's spared or that Maria was old enough to stay afloat. And didn't actually drown, was able to get out of the cistern before or after her mother slit her throat. All right, let's finish this. It's about 2 minutes more. I think maybe it's a good idea to just finish it because it'll still be fresh in our memories and we can talk about it after the fact. So I'm going to let this play through. And you guys, I know it looks like you're looking at a black wall. I don't believe we get any light anomalies at this point, other than that cat ball that went off earlier, but continue to look at the screen because you are going to see slight differences in the lights that do light up in the room.
Do you regret killing your children?
It's me here.
We know it's you.
It's me here is what I believe was Andrew saying, I'm here.
How many children did you have?
I sent that girl packing.
Talk to me.
There's I'm going to pause it because okay, so they're about to come in the room to get me. So it's me here, talk to me. This is a fighting. I'm feeling this fighting in my ears between who I perceive to be Andrew and Eliza. One's trying to talk to us, the other's trying to talk to us. And then I suddenly feel extremely sad, emotional, and it's like a full body. Earlier when I kind of whimpered, it was my arm. Now it's the full body is feeling cold. I have the tingles. They're all over the place. And listen, I want you guys to listen to what the guide says when he comes into the room as well.
You're good. You okay?
Yeah, just turn it low. Leave it right where it is because some of the answers are on the.
Yeah. Could you hear
It
what
was-
we were asking now?
No, you can't hear me.
I had it turned all the way up.
And now we could hear it from all the way across the room.
Yeah.
You're having the conversation
Yeah.
with her that you asked to have downstairs.
Yeah. The questions are right on, but it's not here. It's whatever happened next door.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Satan made her kill her kids, and she said both together.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
asking them,
Yeah.
both together.
Can I
Yeah.
take this?
Mary.
Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah.
Sam over and
Sam,
Satan,
Satan.
over and over.
So is that where you had it
and
standing
over.
right here? The
Um,
same place?
Yeah,
Alright.
that frequency,
Yeah.
and I had it all the way turned up. And
we heard it,
laughed-
so I know you didn't hear us because.
laughed.
All right. Who's?
Wow.
Oh,
See what we get.
You did a good job.
yeah,
You did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
Yeah.
easy to do.
that was, yeah, at first. it
Where do
was
we
like,
turn
this
this
is
up?
easy.
Pause.
So you see the volume wheel right up here?
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. That one?
There you go. Yep.
All the way.
All right.
Zork wants to know what well.
Okay, so it wasn't a well, it was described as a cistern. So a well is, my understanding of a well is like water comes up out of the ground into it, right? Isn't that the definition of a well?
I had a different definition until we went to the Conjuring house, and that was a well behind me,
That was a
and that
well,
was just
right.
there was a hole in the ground that filled with water. So yeah, I
Yep,
think you're
The-
right.
The water comes out from the
Yeah.
ground into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So a cistern collects water. So it's
Mm.
it's a big giant, and that's what a lot of people use to wash their clothes, to wash up. But it collects water. It was in the basement, and it's represented by that bowl in the Lizzie Borden house. From what I've read, the cistern in the Eliza Borden house next door is basically just a big, huge container that goes down into the ground, like a big barrel, basically, and it fills with rainwater. Or they bring rainwater from buckets and fill it up and just keep it filled to wash and use water for whatever they need to. All right, so yeah, so that was my experience. You can kind of see at the end, I do wipe tears from my eyes. My right arm, again, I kept touching my right arm because that felt the most activity the entire time I was in that room. And like I said, the conflict, the kind of whimpering that I did at the end was because I was feeling like I was in the middle of a fight, like I was being pulled back and forth by these two people. And at this point, Chris is just like, whoa, I can't believe how well that went. So he's just, I don't think at that point you had physically felt anything in the house. Physically, yeah, if I'm correct, right?
No. Yeah. No. Well, kind
Yeah.
of. I mean, I think I said very early on when we first got there and we went to my room
Right. Yeah.
that I said it felt like really warm and inviting,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think I was feeling other things yet. So I just kind of thought, oh, this is a nice, cozy room, Now, after experiencing other things and feelings and energies,
Right.
I agree that that room was like a safe place. Like we couldn't get hurt in that room. Nothing
Mm-mm.
could get in
Nope.
there. I felt very safe in that room.
Yep.
The
And
rest of that house, though.
we've since found other people online who have stayed at that house, who have stayed in that room, and who have said the same thing, that they feel the similar, just a safety, a feeling of protection, and they use the name Abby Borden. Did you get anything while you were both sleeping? Not sure yet. So there's still some footage that we have to go through that will come. It's just, you guys, it's hours and hours and hours and hours of just leaving a recorder on, leaving a video camera on. So there's still some things we might come back and refresh regarding the Borden case.
I will say, I know we don't want to go into all the other episodes, but like I listened to the audio recording from Salem Inn when I was sleeping, and I will say there is stuff caught on there, but I'm pretty sure I've debunked everything
Okay.
on that on when I was sleeping.
Yeah. All right. So the next clip is going to be one that you guys actually do really want to watch the screen because you're going to see some intense shit with the EMF readers. Actually, maybe I should make it full screen.
Killed them together.
Together?
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And then you start saying their names. I want to get through some of this fairly quick so then
Mhm.
we can bring people up and talk because we're already at
Okay.
the hour mark.
Talk here.
Let me fast forward a little bit. Let me get to the point where we see stuff happen. Oh, does it not show me a preview?
No, it's
Oh,
probably
that's
not showing
annoying.
you a preview.
Oh, that's really annoying.
Are your kids asleep?
Borden, is that you?
Hey,
I think it's right around here.
Did the kids do that?
Oh, here we go.
Or two
Yeah.
girls? A girl and a boy.
Leave.
Right here, Chris?
I don't know. You moved it. It had just happened.
Okay.
Mr. Borden, is that you?
hey,
Mr. Borden?
So he just got a. There you go.
Sit. Oh, shit.
kids.
Oh my God.
Kids. Are the kids here?
You're yellow over there.
Ooh, boy.
Oh, shit.
Kids.
Oh my God.
Right. So he says leave, and then here's stay. So again, that conflict I was feeling, he describes later on, this guy who's doing it now, that same kind of conflict, right?
Mhm.
He's talking about kids a lot. He's talking about clearly wanting to sleep or sleeping or annoyed. And the stay came through and all those EMF readers lit up.
Mm-hmm.
Kids.
There's like 5 of them.
EMF readers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can only see like 3 of them on camera, but they're all in front of each of us.
Right. And I
So-
wanted
so
to
it's a
strangle
big
you in this
circle.
moment as I'm watching it because I'm like, why didn't you go into landscape mode? But you do a good job at moving the camera around the room so you can see when they're all lit up.
Where are you right now?
I'm going to skip because I think it's a little bit further until they
show
all
us
light
where
up
you are?
again.
Can you come stand in the middle of us and touch this ball over here? Make it light up
Not
again?
here.
Not here? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kids.
Again with the kids.
Is Eliza Ann here?
Someone did it.
Who did it?
Jim.
Who?
The kids talk to us? Oh, okay. Where are you? They're messing with us.
Mm-hmm. Take a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Unless there's something back in one of those pictures.
What it is.
I called that shit back then.
Mm-hmm.
No way.
You
Evil.
sure did. No way, evil.
The kids are eating. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's why. One second.
Maybe.
More kids.
More kids. It's like he's annoyed by kids.
Yeah, that's the vibe I got. Andrew Borden's totally fucking
How
annoyed
many
with the
kids?
kids. I get the
Mhm.
vibe that
No.
Abby attracts them to the house to try to keep them safe.
Were they
Mm.
joking around and things escalated?
I like that question. Were they joking around and things
They're
escalated?
under.
They're under.
Help them.
How do we help them? Raise them.
Like something's about to happen.
What are they under?
Kitchen.
Kitchen. Under
Sorry.
the kitchen.
I just have that memory.
Lights. In the basement. Yeah. Why are they under the kitchen? He's sleeping.
See, I feel like we're listening to a conversation now. He's
Mhm.
sleeping, I feel like, is them talking about Andrew, and Andrew
Mhm.
subconsciously hearing this.
Another important thing that we're going to touch on when we do our docuseries, but in Lizzie Borden's testimony during her trial, there was a lot of back and forth on where she was when her father came home. Was
Mhm.
she on the stairs, coming downstairs from the second floor, which would be right in front of the front door where her father enters? That's what the maid, that's what Bridget, also known as Maggie, testifies to. Or was she in the kitchen? And Lizzie is insistent. She kind of, fumbles over her words, but she's insistent quite a few times that she was in the kitchen. I feel like something's about to happen. That's why the only reason I'm not skipping forward.
Did he say the
He's-
trees? You're sleeping on the couch.
I don't think he said that yet.
He's sleeping. Yeah.
Look, there we go.
shit.
There's the second time. Okay.
Wait.
Let's listen to the question asked beforehand.
I don't know. He's sleeping.
Maybe it was Andrew sleeping on the couch.
Back.
Did he say that?
Back.
Oh, shit.
You can see the circle now, guys.
Every
There's
single
definitely more than
one.
5, Chris.
Yeah.
Mr. Borden?
Yeah.
Do that?
Boston.
Yeah.
Did he say that? Like, I described the scenario, and then he says that, and then it
And then
all
they
lights
light
up.
Yes. Yes. He said that, the word that, right after you described the scenario. Maybe he's sleeping, like right here on the
Mhm.
couch. And then he says that, and they all light up.
Yeah.
Also, when someone said he's sleeping, if you notice, the dim lights go all the way out. All the EMF readers turn all the way off.
Mhm.
And then after he says that, they light up bright like that. And there are more than 5 when you pan the room. I think there's like 7. So let's keep going for a little bit. I'll probably skip forward. But I believe from this point on, they stay brightly lit up the entire time. I don't think they stop from that.
Mm-mm. No, and so the energy in the room,
See your
you
presence.
felt it.
Oh yeah. No, you can feel
Save me.
save me.
This.
You just felt a really strong presence in the room now at
Mr.
this
Borden, I
point.
know this is your
Mhm.
house.
And not as scary,
That's
not a
right. You need to leave.
threatening.
Oh, okay.
Mm-mm.
Okay, but Andrew,
Again?
we presume, as Andrew just said, you need to leave.
Lonely.
Lonely.
Sorry to hear that. Why are you lonely? Let me.
Let me.
You want to be lonely.
Yeah.
You want to be alone.
We'll probably skip past this part, so I'll make it known now that the guide after this session with this guy who has the headphones on now, told us that it's not uncommon at most points during the tour, like in this point of the night, that you get Andrew Borden's presence telling you to leave
Mhm.
and telling you to stop. And again, I never felt. Did you feel like it was a threatening, like leave, get out? Like
I
felt
felt
more
like
just
it was like.
this
Do you
is enough.
remember? No. Do you? All right. So I'll relate it to a scenario. You remember when you were younger? You're hanging out at your friend's house, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
yeah.
your
Yeah.
friend does some stupid shit, and
Mhm.
his dad walks in and is about to
Yep.
beat his ass, and everybody's just like, like, because you're scared, you're safe because he ain't after you, but
yeah.
your friend is about to like go through it. That's what I felt in that room.
Right. Same. Yep. Yep, exactly. It wasn't like it was more like he wasn't, I didn't get the sense he was trying to scare us off at all.
Mm-mm.
I also got kind of the sense of a protection, like that he did not want us, he knew at that point that Eliza was communicating with us and strongly. Maybe that was something he was like, okay, time to get out of here. Like,
Yeah.
all right, so almost done. He's telling us to stop,
Would like to
sleep.
speak with us.
We're asking, is there anyone else who would like to speak with us?
Yelling.
Yelling.
Yelling. He hears children yelling. Kids. I think Trees is coming up.
Mr. Borden.
Not now.
Not now.
Hurry.
Okay. All right. All right. We're almost done.
We may have missed
Would you
it.
speak?
Yeah, I think we do.
What was it?
I think
They're
we lost it.
lost.
They're lost.
Was it fairies?
Mother.
Mother.
The kids are lost from their mother.
Yeah. What's better?
Stop.
Yeah.
So Amanda, I didn't get the feeling like he felt that he didn't protect his family. I got more of a feeling that they were still there with him and that was his castle, and he did not want a bunch of strangers in his castle, and he was just really tired of it.
I just want to add those photos you just sent me.
And then I would like to look at maybe the basement where like that happened, and then bring some people up.
Sounds good. Where are those photos you just sent me?
In Messenger.
I know, and I saved them and I added them to the file.
Oh shit.
Oh, here we go. Add them to that and that. Add to album. Lizzie.
I agree, Taylor. I think he does get very annoyed. I have a bunch of weird theories about different types of interactions with spirits that I kind of was throwing towards Boston. So I don't know in my theories that if he knows that every night is a different night, I feel like, I don't know. I'm going to sound really weird if I start explaining my theories. Like,
You're not.
I just think like it's a moment frozen in time and it just keeps replaying. And so once that moment's gone, it just starts over and you don't remember those other moments prior. So a conversation that he had with us that night, he doesn't remember the next night or the next night or the next night because he's just reliving a moment. It's some part that was frozen in time. Maybe it wasn't right when he was murdered. Maybe it was just him in the parlor with his family and that energy stayed and is just going over and over and over again. And to him, maybe we're ghosts. Maybe our timelines are just overlapping so thin in this place. And that is why we are able to communicate with them. So at the time when we're talking to him, I don't think he's dead.
Right.
But then I also think that there's conversation. Like, I think it's just layers upon layers upon layers of different timelines. And at certain points, we were hearing conversations that were happening at certain periods of time in this room, and it makes the whole conversation really crazy.
Fuck. You
Wait,
can't share
hold
your
on.
screen? What?
Alice Russell tells the grand jury about her visit she received from Lizzie the night before the murders. The grand jury issues an incident against Lizzie for murder 2 days later, November 31st, 1892.
Well, sorry, that's when they said she was innocent?
Yes. But the word
Interesting.
November was said.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That's the exact kind of thing I was looking for. Can you save that comment? Well, we have the comment. Maybe write it down real quick. I'm just adding these photos to
What
the
am I going to
library.
write down? What am I going to...
November, the date, that comment, the date of the comment, and...
I don't carry a pen and paper with me.
Oh, my Lord.
I got it. I'm just writing on me.
Docu-series coming up. We need this stuff. All right. Okay. Yes, and I'm going to highlight this comment real quick too, because if anyone is unaware of the Bridgewater Triangle, look that shit up, man. The Lizzie Borden house is right at the end of the Bridgewater Triangle, and there's been sightings of UFOs, aliens, ghosts, like every paranormal thing you can think of, cryptids. All right, so I'm going
that,
to...
Michelle, we were also looking for that too, so you weren't wasting your time, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. Looking for the death date of Eliza. Yeah, you're not wasting your time at all.
So can you show those photos?
Mm-hmm. I sure can. All right. So this is the photo. Let's make it full screen real quick. So this is the photo, the crime scene photo of Andrew Borden when he died. There's two interesting things about this photo. The first thing was that this is I believe it's one of the first crime scene photos to be like published in this way or to be used as evidence in a trial in the United States. I could be wrong, so don't quote me on that. But they weren't really great at keeping the crime scene as it was when the murders happened, because Lizzie said her father took off his shoes and put his slippers on. Big problem with that, because it was a big no-no to see men's ankles or their stockings on their feet. It was very shameful. So the police did put his shoes on before they took this photo. The other thing I want you to notice is this. It's a painting behind him, okay? It's hard to see. Can I zoom in on it a little bit?
Yeah, I also want to note that the guy in that picture is not a ghost. Photographs
guy,
at that time took a long time to develop when they went, and there was somebody walking into the frame and back, so that's why they're half see-through.
All right, I can't zoom in on this picture, but that's the picture that's above him.
That's why I sent you two pictures.
I know. This is the picture. Oh, and I can't zoom in on that one either. Crap.
Well, you don't need to. It says the Village Elms under it.
Right here, it says the Village Elms. So the thing that you missed, or that I skipped by, was that the guy who had gone after me, I got that random word where I said the village, and I said it just like that. He got trees. And afterwards, as we were walking around the house, the man who was doing the Estes method after me looked over and said, "Oh my God, the village elms, the village trees." It's not the exact photo, it's an exact replica of the painting that was over Andrew Borden when he died. So I thought that was really interesting and notable for sure. The last thing, we're going to do the basement. So yeah, it's getting kind of late. So you don't want to show the last big lights that go off?
No, I think
Okay.
that
I mean, we've seen
everybody,
them gone off enough times.
yeah,
Okay.
everybody that's watching this tonight has already watched it.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So this is the basement. Do you want to preface
Okay,
or set it up?
we're not supposed to be down here. We found a way in, and we went down there after hours and learned a lesson on why you don't. When we went down here this time, though, it was like ice cold. It didn't have any feeling like it did earlier when we were with the group. Now, I
So it's
want to,
instantly a different feeling.
yeah. Now, I also want to emphasize, yes, there's motion light rooms in the basement, but it's really hard to tell in this from where we're going to go in a few minutes. That is the opposite side of the basement, and there is a wall in between that. We did not go onto the other side to set off any of those motion lights. They couldn't have been set off by us because of that wall. So when you see the red lights on here, when you see us outside, that's not the same side of the house, and the red lights that are on here, you cannot see from that side of the house.
Yes. And I'll point out where we were sitting and where we saw the red lights when we get to that part.
Mhm.
All right. So I'm just going to play this all the way until we get outside and then pause and we'll talk about it and then show our outside reactioning and have people come up. Okay.
Mhm.
Or just tell me stop if there's something you want to say. Let's go back under where he died. Yeah, why not?
Oh, shit.
Oh God, that's
I got
I don't like
scared
this
by
at
a
all.
truck.
Just sit there. All right. All right, we're gonna set this up. Oh, shut that off. That's gonna
Shut it off.
Hey, good thing you got my shoes.
The cool shoes.
Okay. I need to set this. Need to set it. Okay. Now I need you to cross for yes. Very good. I need you to reset.
This was
Yep.
one of the few times.
I need you to open.
This is one of the few times where my hands were trembling so bad.
Very good. Thank you. Can you reset?
And I do want to say
All right.
that I have tried to see how you can manipulate those. That's not that stuff's moving on its own. Like, I can't explain it. Like, so these rods have like a solid pole and the rod itself is going through it. So I'm not holding even onto a rod that can spin. I'm holding onto a
Right.
solid pole and those spin freely.
And they're inside. It's like hold on. Oh God, this is gonna get clipped. It's like this. Like here's the rods. They go into this hole, and then he's holding on to those, and they just swivel around in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, continue.
So I'm not. What I'm getting at is you can see in other videos. This one, my hands, I will say, were trembling so bad, not from being scared. I don't know, like my hands shake, but it was like uncontrollable. And I don't know if it was just the environment doing it. I don't know if it's because I was standing up and I didn't have my arms like planted on something.
No, but you were standing up in other videos we had done, and you weren't shaking at all.
Yeah, like I mean, they're like violently shaking in this
Mm-hmm.
video to the point that I get frustrated because I felt like I couldn't get a a good read because I was influencing in a way by shaking it so much they would start really going. But in the other videos, it's pretty like it's not like slow, like it would just open, stop, quick cross, stop. You know, like it didn't do like glides.
Mhm.
And I really like using those. Let's see.
You're great at them. I actually gave them to him as a gift when he left because I had bought them for myself or, for us to use together on this investigation.
Mhm.
But I had tried them a few times and and it was good for me. But he just you really do have a way of communicating. I think really respectfully, um, assertively, but like not in a bad way.
Mhm.
Um, and they're just, for whatever reason, it moves so much quicker with you when you do it.
So something that happens, maybe not in this video, but these have like a little ball on the tip of them that unscrews. And
Mhm.
when I'm using these, I really feel tugging from those, and that's what's moving it. Like that's how I feel as if you were to grab that other end of it and pull it and then move them with your
Move
hand.
back and
That's
forth,
what I
yeah.
felt like was happening the whole time. But those balls kept getting unscrewed, and there'd be certain times when we were using them where they would just fall off,
Yeah,
almost as if somebody was holding them and trying to twist it, and then it falls
which is
off on its own.
really bizarre because even when you put them down, you're never holding them, picking them up, touching that end of the
Never,
rod. Never.
never.
It'd be good for my mom. Yeah, I highly recommend using them. I think they were one of the best forms of communication we used. Throughout our trip, we met two
Oh, you
param
froze. You're a robot. So while Boston is frozen in time,
really
yeah, you're still
respected.
Boston. I can hardly hear you. Um, Rena, yes, I felt a lot of energy coming from them, more so in certain areas than others. Um, in that basement, I I don't know if I really felt the energy coming from them. I felt energy in that basement for sure. I would say in the upstairs John Morris room, I really felt the energy. Um,
Let's finish this clip and then because then we can get people to come up too.
okay. All right, yeah, let's
Sorry, can you hear me okay?
yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. Oh, I have to share again. Share screen, Google, share.
Andrew Borden. Is Andrew Borden here?
Oh god, I feel sick.
Can I talk to the lady?
I start feeling violently sick.
The lady here.
Yeah, I feel really like I'm gonna puke.
The lady here.
Oh, I don't like this.
Okay, lady.
You can just stream us out. I can't with your chat right now. I feel like I'm gonna throw up. You just said your arm's tingling.
Mm-hmm. And you can see my hand trembling.
Was that the same arm that was tingling?
No.
You say yes, but do it. Don't tell me what you can do. I want to see you do it.
This area right here, that hole, leads back to the area where they get a lot of activity with Eliza.
Lady, do you mean us any harm? Lady, do you mean us harm? See? We're good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
God. He's gonna pull on you. There we go.
Yeah.
He's whispering. He just said somebody pulled on my jacket. I said, "Are
Yeah.
you kidding?"
You lady?
He said something lifted up
Did
the
you
back
just
of my
pull on
jacket.
Felt you pull on my jacket. Can you reset that for them?
I don't feel good. I feel like it's.
It's up to you if you want to.
I feel like I can't move.
Lady,
At
we're
this
gonna
point,
close
I
the
literally
session.
felt like I couldn't move.
Is that okay?
Not paralyzation, but
feel
more
like
like
I
I
can't
didn't have control of my own body.
All right, thank you, lady. Have a good night.
Thank you.
And I don't remember any of this.
What? Yeah, hang on. Just walk straight.
I remember none of this. None of the going up the stairs.
And you're kind of stomping too.
And I do remember entering that room though.
I'm looking around like, why the fuck you going in here?
Right? Like, why are we not going outside?
Want to talk about it?
No, get that out of my face, please.
You want to keep ghost hunting? Or are you done? Okay. Now,
I just said we need to leave the house.
where are we gonna go?
I don't want to leave the house. I don't leave the house.
I just said I don't feel like I said that. I don't want to
You're
leave the
fucking
house.
with me.
I'm not fine.
You just said that you want that we need to leave the house.
I feel like I need to leave the house.
Well, I said
Uh-huh.
you want to leave the house.
I don't want to leave the house.
Let's go. Come on.
I feel like I need to
I say I don't want to leave the house. And then you say, let's
Come
go. And I say,
All right,
I
let's
feel
go
like I
outside.
need to go outside.
Give me your hand.
What the fuck?
Come on. We're going outside.
This still gives me
We're
the
going outside,
chills
boss.
watching this.
Come on. Gotta go outside, boss. We're fine. We're gonna shut this.
This creeps me out too.
Done. Can't get back in. Alright? No,
Watch what I do, guys.
it's done. We're gonna go outside. Boston, stop with it. Yeah, come on. We're going outside. Yeah, you're not supposed to fuck with it. Here's an alarm on
I
it.
said, I'm just making sure. I was trying to get back
Outside.
downstairs. I do fully remember that. I was trying to see if we can get back downstairs. Like I wanted to go
Nobody's
back
gonna be mad at
downstairs. All right. So then we go outside and talk, which we can keep playing or we can have people come up.
No, keep playing because I want. This is like fucked up part.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying you're a badass. Everybody's saying you're a badass. Yeah, you are. Let's just sit. Okay, it's okay. Why don't we sit?
Thank you, Amanda.
There's probably wet chairs. This is what, like 2 in the morning?
No, Chris handled this great. He was a good protector.
Did it really pull your jacket?
Yeah, I was probably 2, close to
I
3 in
lifted
the
up
morning.
the back of my jacket. It went like this.
Oh my god. No, she was there.
Oh, I know she was there. My arms couldn't stop trembling. So right now, the side we're on is the side that we were on at the stairs, and we're walking around the back
It's a fresh
to
air
the
for a
other
minute.
side.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, we're still alive. Nope, they're saying you're a badass. They tell you to take deep breaths. You got this. You've done amazing. That's what Amanda C says.
You feel that?
See? Amanda C, shout out.
I want to talk about what
You guys
happened
were
in
great.
the living room.
Great cheerleaders.
What happened with him?
You kept telling me that we had to leave now and that we had to go. And then you looked at me and said, I didn't say that.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I said I need to get some fresh air.
No, you didn't say that. You said that at the end, after.
No.
You said, we need to leave now. And I said, the house? And you said, the house. We need to leave the house now. And I said,
That light was turned on in the basement.
yep. So we're sitting outside. And
Oh, that was you, Coco?
light in the basement just turned on. You can see the red lights on.
Anyone who thinks
Yeah.
I feel like
So
This is on motion.
let me pause it real quick and actually rewind a little bit. Hold on.
So we're sitting outside. And
I'm gonna pause it right when you turn the camera.
light in the basement just
Okay. So that looks creepy. That looks really creepy.
ghost.
I don't know. It's just a shadow from the bench, but like scary. Okay, so here's the windows. So this area right here is the back, like right here is a wall in the basement. Picture the wall going down in the basement right there. That's where on this side you see the cistern and the face in the wall, the photos I showed earlier. They have an actual, like the staff has a washer and dryer back here. There's some storage shelving. And then there's a red motion light, right? On this side. When we were down in the basement, we were over here on this side of the wall, which is where the little bedroom area was. And then even further, like way over here, is where they usually say that the lady, Liza, likes to hang out. There's really absolutely no reason that those would go off at that moment. It could have been,
And they weren't
we walked
on.
down outside. They were not on when we were down there.
No,
They
or
weren't.
when we first sat down outside.
Mm-mm.
They came
They
on
weren't.
after sitting there.
Right. You hear me say those, and those lights just went on.
Yeah.
So they came on after we were sitting here. We had not been walking. We walked around there, but we'd already been sitting for a few minutes before they turn on.
Just turned on. I'll go over and show you guys.
So anyone who thinks
Also, something interesting, under, beneath, during the spirit box session, those words kept coming up when that other guy was doing the spirit box session. Under, beneath. And then our guide said, under what? And he said, kitchen, which is right up here. Just thought that was interesting.
I feel like
This is on motion sensors. That red light is on.
how do I get it off?
How do you
I just asked, how
get
do I
off
get it
what?
off of
Get
me
what off
because
you?
I was
Nothing's on you.
terrified.
It was fine.
It felt like it was on
It
me.
said that it was friendly with us, and it said we could leave. You tell. I totally felt like somebody was staring at us through that window.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's just being scared. Smoke a cigarette. Take some deep breaths. You've had a lot going on.
Thank you so much, guys.
It's Eliza. Forget Lizzie and Andrew and Abby and it's Eliza.
Mm.
And she's not honest. I don't feel like she's honest.
That was a feeling I got too big time.
Do you feel like she was
She was a
honest?
trickster or a liar
She
or
didn't want to hurt us?
Oh.
That's who I felt when I was in that room. I don't know who I felt in the basement, but that's who I felt when I was in that room.
Oh, thanks, Amanda C. Oh, did you cut it before you said your
Oh.
thing?
Let's go back up
Yeah.
where he died.
I
So,
cut it.
yeah, so Coco and a few others, they all told us a protective phrase to say, and Boston said it, and it literally, the light shut off as soon
Mhm.
as you said it. And it felt different. Like, it didn't feel like somebody was looking at us. You just have that feeling when you know somebody's staring, right?
Mhm.
And it was so that basement feeling, man. It was like after we went down there, that feeling from the basement just followed us to the rest of the house and to other locations on our trip. Like,
Which we're gonna get into big time.
I can say, guys, I've done a lot of scary shit. I've been through shit. I've seen some shit. This house was the most terrifying house I've ever been in until a moment in the Conjuring house, which I felt was two different things, but all relating back to this. And I mean, can I say it, Boston? And the Bridgewater Triangle.
Mhm.
Like Fall River
King Philip's
and
War.
so Fall River and where the Conjuring House are in the triangle. And the triangle is basically like the Bermuda Triangle, but on land. And so many different things happen there. And these two, there was a connection to the two places that I felt personally. I'm not saying that it was the same entity. I'm not saying that it was the same energy from the two. It was definitely two separate things, but they were communicating, they were talking,
Oh,
and they
yeah.
knew about each other.
Mhm. And there's water. Water is related to both households in some way. And I think that has a big part to do with it too. Yeah, I was just gonna highlight that. We made ours really far in advance. We made ours in May.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to answer that in a good way because we just wanted to start planning. Um, and I think it was my room specifically was hard to get, which was ironic because I didn't end up sleeping in my room. Chris had a suite. The Andrew and Abby Borden room had the bedroom, and then they had made Abby's old closet and
Into
Andrew's
another
office
bedroom.
into another bedroom. So I ended up sleeping in the spare bedroom because I was
Yeah.
too scared to sleep in the John Morse room. Yeah, should we do we have a mod here that could drop the website to the Lizzie Borden house?
Rooms, the rooms for what I feel the experience was 100% worth it. If you do go to this, I have to recommend that I wasn't fucking around, Melissa. This shit. So I will touch base in just 1 second on that. I want to finish my thought. If you do the Lizzie Borden bed and breakfast, I just say that you're wasting your time if you do not do the day tour and the ghost hunt. Do them both.
100%.
Because they
Sorry.
they both definitely.
We need to wrench Amanda. She's
I
like the best
know,
ghost
I'm doing it
cheerleader ever.
right now.
Okay. Sorry, that's why I gasped. What? They both
They both have their benefits. The day tour gives you the rich history of the murder and the timeline and the family. And then the ghost hunt truly gives the dark side of not only what happened that night, but what followed and the evil that stayed in that house.
And I will say we were so lucky to get the group of people that we did on that ghost hunt. It was our first ghost hunting experience ever. The guide was
Mhm.
amazing. He was very just like, "Hey, I've lived in Fall River my whole life. I have always been drawn to this house. I enjoy working here. And like, here's how we use the tools. Let's start going." You know, it wasn't
Mhm.
all the like, ooh, trying to like spook people out. And you could kind of hear that from his voice, I think. Um, but also just the people that did the group with us, besides like a father with two younger teenage daughters, they went to bed early, which I
Yeah.
was happy for. But everyone else was really into it, really open minded, really hoping to feel something. One of the people or a couple that was there with us, that was like their fourth time there.
Yeah.
And I mean, Chris and I, we already know for sure that we're going back.
I would love to go back and get a group and have all of us rent the house so that we have the entire house
Yeah,
and do
that would.
the tour during the day and the night tour, and all of us just have free reign to go wherever. And I think
Mhm,
that would be amazing.
mhm.
I want to go back to Melissa's question, why I didn't
Okay.
sleep in that room. So we're not going
Well,
to
if, do
show the video. I don't
you
want
want
to
me to
show the
drop the
whole.
link too?
Yeah, go ahead and drop the link, and if
Okay.
people want to come up, I'm not going to bring
Just
tons of people up, but a handful I think would be cool,
yeah.
and we can alternate after you ask your question or whatnot. Um, so when we went up to the murder room, one, I sat where Abby died, and I asked with the dowsing rods if I was being disrespectful, and she thought I was, and that's understandable, right?
Mhm.
I still had a good feeling with her. And then from there, um,
I actually have the video clip.
that
Hey,
guy.
Tim.
From there,
Hi,
though,
guys.
after I did that, I didn't feel right staying in that room, but then I did get creeped out also really bad. One, I was still kind of creeped out from the basement, but we believe we talked to John Morris at one point, and
Mhm.
the room felt like very untrustworthy. Like,
Instant. So we're talking to, and I have the clip, but we're because I just watched it last night. So sorry I'm interrupting you, but it's like super fresh in my mind right now. You have the spirit rods. We're talking to Abby, right? Um, Suddenly it starts to get weaker, and you said,
mhm,
"I don't think she's. I think she's done. I don't think she's here anymore." And then you look up and you say, "Did you feel that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we both just instantly knew you said, "The room totally changed, guys." And we've
yeah.
got Heather and Holly on panel talking too. And so you can't hear our conversation that well at the moment, but in that moment, explain what we felt because we felt the same thing.
So two things happened. First off, I felt like the energy was trying to pretend to be nice and be our friend,
Mhm.
but I didn't trust it. But in that moment, there was a neighbor behind us that was snoring really loud. There was cars out on the street,
Mhm.
and
It's
electricity
right
gives off
downtown.
ambience.
Yeah.
You know,
Electricity
electricity gives
sounds.
off a hum.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, it was like a vortex, just dead silent. You sounded like you had noise canceling headphones on. You could hear no other noise. Me and Boston talking, there wasn't bass or anything. You could hear each other, but we couldn't, like, distance was gone. I had a moment where to me, in my head, I was so freaked out. I felt like we froze in a second and that we were stuck in that second. That was what was going through my head. It didn't help that we couldn't hear the audio on the live all of a sudden for a reason. And then I really started tripping out. When that happened, I I just wanted to get back to my room because that feeling was so much different,
Mhm.
and I didn't want to be in that room anymore. I didn't trust it. I wasn't sure what was going to happen if I tried to sleep in it. I didn't want Boston staying in there sleeping in it. And that's when I was like, I got the spare room. Go in there. At least we're by each other. Because also, if something happened, we couldn't just get back to one another. You had to go downstairs, a flight of stairs on either side, and go through the entire house to get to the other person. So that is why I did not. So Tim, that guy, what's up?
Hi guys.
What's your question?
All right, so I got to follow along a little bit through the whole thing. I haven't actually got a chance to watch everything, but specifically right there at the end on the bench, you have no recollection whatsoever, Boston, of talking to Chris or going down the stairs. Right?
I do have I have no recollection of getting up from my chair. I remember him offering, like, holding his hand out for me to grab. I have no recollection of me getting up from that chair and going up the stairs. My memory kicks in when I turn through the kitchen to go into the sitting room and sit on the couch. Then I have a memory of being there. I have a memory of talking to Chris. I don't remember the back and forth. We need to leave. No, I want to stay. We need to leave. I just remember saying, well, I just need to go outside. Like, I just need to get fresh air. Which I don't think is even what I don't think I even ended up saying I need to get fresh air.
So my question then is, do you think you were more channeling something or were you possessed?
I felt I don't like
because I really want you to be possessed.
I know. I don't like to use the P word because it's a very violating feeling. I'll tell you, I felt frozen in the basement. I felt violated in the basement. On the couch, I felt protected. And so Chris and I have talked about it, and we both have just the same feeling that perhaps that was Andrew telling us we need to leave. And he was kind of mirroring the same words, you need to leave, that happened during the Estes method at the end of the night before the rest of the tour left.
Tim, where I would say Boston wasn't possessed was because of how in and out it was.
Right.
Looking at her and talking to her, there would be a few seconds where I'd be like, that's not Boston I'm talking to. Like, that's how I felt. And I thought, damn, she's really good.
Okay, so
actor.
we would
I
probably
think she
go
was
with
channeling.
Yeah.
Andrew. I really do.
Okay, good to know.
What's up, Amanda? What's up, Melissa? And Nasty had a question. Do you remember opening the basement door? Trying to open the basement door.
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember not really being aware of why I did that. And then I felt guilty, and when Chris was like, "What are you doing? Knock that off," and I was just like, "Oh, I just wanted to make sure it was closed," but like lying. I felt like I wanted to go back in the basement, or I don't know why. Like, why the hell would I want to go back in the basement? Why can't you guys see the layout I'm trying to show here? That's really annoying.
I don't know. So what's up, ladies? How are you?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
So what do you guys got? Any questions?
Well, you're saying the Borden house was the most energy besides a moment in The Conjuring?
I wouldn't say that. No, I'd say I wouldn't say the most energy. I would say the most negative energy.
Yes. Yeah, there you go.
Hey, Retro.
Is that what you meant, Chris, when you said that?
I would probably say the most negative energy. To me, I didn't. Is that what you meant, Chris, when you said that?
Retro, you got feedback.
Oh, yeah, you got to mute your YouTube.
I got him. So we had a lot of experiences throughout, definitely. Colonial Inn, Salem Inn, not really. Colonial Inn, it was really good feelings. It was nothing like, if anybody thought it was scary, it was nothing scary, at least for me. I just had like a really positive, humble experience.
Hmm.
That
And there was
Borden house,
really good feelings though at the Borden house. There was, because it's
only
calling us
in that
back.
room. That was the thing. Was
Mm.
only in that one room did I have good feelings in that.
Well,
room.
that's what I was going to ask
I had
you.
good
Like,
feelings.
kind of.
I had good feelings in the sitting room when we were doing the Estes method.
No.
You didn't? You had bad feelings in that room?
No, yeah, I either had
Okay.
no feeling in some spots or it was very, very negative.
So, can you guys feel when you're? Is it a very obvious transfer of feelings? So when
Yes.
you say it's obvious that we're not speaking to the same person that we were just speaking to,
Mhm.
what were you experiencing that was such a drastic? This isn't the same person, and this is completely different energy.
It's very hard to explain. I will do my best to do this. It triggered an emotion in you.
Mhm.
That's how I'll explain the feeling. Was almost as if you could just, with a light switch, change your emotion completely. You didn't go from being super happy to slowly being sad and depressed. It was just instant.
Yeah.
Do you feel
And
you were experienced their intent, like you understood their intentions?
yes, and
Mhm.
that was how the energy felt. If so, like I was saying, the deceiving one when we were talking to John,
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
I was sitting in this room and it got cold. It, definitely warm and cold tones. When I was in the Abbey suite, very warm, and you felt like you were at home, like visiting your family on Christmas. It felt safe. It felt welcoming. But in that room, when she was there talking to us, I felt that at first when I was talking to her. And then as soon
Mhm.
as she went away, the room turned cold. I didn't feel threatened in any way, but I felt very deceived. Like I was being lied to, and I felt like somebody was there trying to
Mislead
prove what
you.
and prove what they could do. Like, you go and talk to a person that maybe isn't the greatest person in the world, and they want to show you the powers that they have on how
Look
they
what I
can
can do.
manipulate. Yeah, just to kind of scare you a little bit. Like,
Mhm.
but they're trying to also at the same time say, I'm not trying to scare you, but I could hurt
Mhm.
you. You know, that
Right.
that was the feeling that I got there. But these things were so over exaggerated feelings. Like it wasn't like I wonder if that's how I'm feeling. It was holy shit, this just changed. I'm feeling completely different. In the downstairs, I talked about Andrew. I felt the feeling that I had when we were talking to Andrew was like I was describing earlier. You're at your friend's house, your friend's
Mhm.
doing something stupid, and his dad walks in, and you're like, oh shit, I'm not really in trouble, but I'm really worried about my friend, and I'm kind of scared that he's going to call my parents.
Yeah.
Like it was just that emotion, that feeling, and that's what I was just getting from these different
Yeah.
rooms.
Like a stern
Basement,
father who just wanted
yeah.
you to knock it off.
Basement, I felt like somebody just wanted to hurt us. I didn't feel like there was anything good, and I felt like she was really pissed off that we left and she didn't get to try anything.
She
Okay, I
did
know
try
where I'm
something.
staying if we stay out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you can stay in the basement. We're renovating it. The
Yes.
old owners used to allow you to stay in the basement, and now that it's got new ownership, they're making that room up again so that you can stay in the basement. I'll tell you, I would never stay in that basement. I'd go back into the basement again. I don't think that she can hurt us. I think that she is extremely powerful. I think the fact that I couldn't move my body, and then felt um, violently sick. So when I say violently sick, I think everyone knows I've got tummy issues. I talk about being nauseous all the time. This wasn't nausea. This was, I'm about to like exorcist style vomit all over Chris.
Ew.
And I kept saying it because I was worried it was about to happen.
Do you guys feel like you have a better understanding of what would have happened back with Lizzie Borden? Do you feel like you got any answers of what happened? And do you think that this energy or these spirits or whatever you want to refer to it as already existed on the property, and that could have potentially been what latched on to whoever did kill them?
100%. I feel that there was something in that house that was darker
Already
helped
before they even moved in.
That helped the process happen. Now, I'm not saying they were possessed. I'm not. I just feel like they were feeling the energy.
Well, the energy you guys are experiencing now, imagine that in a long-term setting.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
eating, breathing, living,
After a
shitting
while,
this energy.
Yes, over and over again, feeling that eventually it will change you. And I definitely think it led to it. Do I think that Lizzie actually herself killed her parents? No.
Really?
I believe Lizzie was involved. I definitely believe Lizzie was involved, but I do not think she did it herself.
Okay.
And in our docuseries, we're going to go through our different theories. I do have one particular suspect that I think she was in cahoots with, though.
I look forward to hearing.
We have
Didn't
a
her and her
particular
sister
suspect.
live together after the trial?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until one day, they lived together for many, many years. They bought a beautiful mansion. Lived
Not too
together
far
for many,
away.
many years. Nope, just right up the street. And one day, Lizzie's sister abruptly, her name's Emma, she abruptly left the house and never talked to her again until the day they died.
I'll tell you what, this turns into one of the best games of Clue because there are so many twists and turns in this story.
Yeah, let me make this full screen real quick because I just wanted to explain if you guys can see that okay. So this is the first floor of the house. So you walk in the front door, right? You have access to the parlor, which is where I was sitting. Can you see the mouse?
No.
Oh, you can't?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, I was sitting in the parlor towards the front of the house doing the Estes method. They were sitting where it says Andrew's body. See that red figure on the couch?
Yep.
That's the sitting room. Okay. Then you can go to the kitchen. These stairs back here go down to the basement. And then there's a little hallway that can take you outside. And then there's stairs right there that go up to the second floor. Now, Andrew and Abby, the only way that they could get to their bedroom, which is on the second floor, right above the kitchen, was to go through that hallway back on the kitchen and go up the back stairs. They had a key to get into their bedroom. Okay. There's no way for them to get, notice there's no halls on the upstairs floor. It's really bizarre. It used to be a 2-family house. And when Andrew Borden purchased the house, he just never renovated it. So the only way, if they wanted to, was to go through Lizzie's bedroom, which also opened up into the guest room, which is where Abby was murdered and where the Uncle John was staying, and then go down the stairs to the front entryway. So the only way Lizzie and Emma could get to their rooms was to go up the front stairs. The only way that Abby and Andrew could get to their rooms was to go up the back stairs, and same with the maid. To get to the attic where the maid lived, you had to go up the back stairs.
All right. I got a bunch of questions in chat I want to just knock out real quick.
Yep.
Zork, so there were 3 kids. One died very early, like when they were 2. And then the
Alice.
2 daughters. Yeah, and then the 2 daughters lived in the house. But only Lizzie was in town when the murders took place. Boston, do you feel they never want to leave their house, or was that they had unfinished business that they wanted to cross over?
So I felt a little different with everybody. I felt like for Andrew, I felt like he couldn't. leave for some reason. I felt like this feeling of just being trapped and stuck. With Abby, I felt that she was there to protect, specifically to protect the children in the house, the children that are not hers. I believe there's more children that have access to that house than just Eliza's drowned kids. There were several children in that family that died generations earlier on that property. The Borden family has a long, sordid history that most people don't really know about. They just know the Lizzie Borden story. That's a good question. Can you answer that? And I'm gonna go pee real quick.
So me and Boston went into this pretty blind. We did not. We knew the basics, that the parents were killed with the axe. We went in thinking Lizzie did it. We did not know how many different suspects there were. We didn't know the timeline of the things going in. So basically, yes, we went in blind. And we learned a lot on the tour. I will say the stuff that we know now, we have done our own research and really kind of looked into more, because the tour, while it's informational, it's very cliff notes. They don't dive into deep relationships with each of the family members and back history. It's more so they did this on this day and this happened. From what me and Boston have started looking into and seeing, arguments that happened years before and how they kind of carried on over the years and possibly could have led to this bigger event happening. We're going to be talking about all of that on our docuseries.
Yeah, I will add, we did a little research. We didn't do a lot, Heather. Most of the research we did was like the night before you got here.
Yeah.
Like when we booked the room, we learned that this is a funny story. This is how the trip all started. And, Chris and I were talking about doing like a ghost road trip, like staying in haunted places. And we chose Massachusetts. And then we decided for sure, like the Lizzie Borden house one night. So Chris went ahead and made a reservation and calls me up and goes, "Hey, I need you to go online, book this room. It's called the John Morse room. And just like, don't read anything about it." I was like, okay, cool. So I did. And then he's like, you just booked the room where Abby Borden was murdered. You're going to be sleeping right next to where she died. So that's how that started. So that was like most the extent of our knowledge. And then we knew that I was like, oh, who's John Morse? And so we looked up and actually read some of the testimony from the trial from John Morse's perspective the night before Chris got here. And both of us were like, he seems kind of sus. But that was basically it, other than the tour. Hey, Retro, good to see you. There is a question too that I wanted to answer that Zork asked. Did you guys see the other house from the outside? So I'm assuming, Zork, that you're asking about the house that Eliza Borden lived in and where she drowned her children. And if that is what you're asking, in that video where you see Chris and I leave the house and go sit outside and try to catch our breath, our backs are towards Eliza's old house, which is right behind us, right directly behind us. It's been renovated many times. Some of the original bones are still there, and you can get tours inside, by the way, which I just found out tonight that we're definitely going to look into for the next time we do this.
Yeah. All right.
You can unmute if you have any questions, Retro. You can unmute.
Oh, I just think it's cool that you're going to check out the other house too. And Zork, if you're in the comments, Pop, I love you, Pop. That's my dad like figure right there. But nice. Yeah, I've heard so many stories about the Lizzie Borden house. I used to watch what's the show? Ghost Hunters.
Yeah.
With Taps, and one of the places they went was Lizzie Borden house, and that's how I got into you guys because when Zark told me that that you guys were gonna be going to Lizzie Borden house, I'm like, oh god, that's where Taps went. And
Nice.
now I do have a question, unless you've already been there. Have you been to the location where Shawshank Redemption was filmed?
We have not, but we have talked about really going there because that's
Oh,
not
dude.
far from me at all.
That would be
Dude,
awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Dude,
I would watch that.
Shawshank Redemption was a good movie. I watched it with my grandma a couple weekends ago while I was on holiday.
Nice.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies, and definitely the location we've talked about. Heather actually brought that up to us
Mhm.
as well. So I mean, this is just the beginning, guys. One thing I can say on a personal level, as far as like, and I don't want to speak for Chris, but let me know if you agree. After being in contact with these spirits, you kind of just get this urge to learn more about them and learn about their history. And I don't know if it's like this. I know for some of them, like for Abby and Andrew, it's like this feeling of respect that I have. That I just think it's the respectful thing to do, but it's also like I am addicted to it. I'm pulled into it. It was the first paranormal experience that I really had and felt, and I want to do it justice.
Yeah.
Well, not gonna lie, I'm not into that kind of history, but I have been getting into a lot of history. I noticed a story about these space pods that died in a I forget what space mission was, but it was a Challenger something, and they died in the space shuttle.
Mhm.
I wonder if there's a haunting on somewhere around that area. I don't know. It makes me
Maybe.
question.
Yeah.
And
Possibly.
could you imagine all the different experiences you would get from the pain, the suffering from
Oh.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely true that where tragedy happens too, there's a lot of
yeah
potential.
Yeah.
For something
I
like
will
that.
say, and a little spoiler for the Conjuring one, whatever the fuck happened with me in the basement that I'll go into detail with on that episode followed me because I haven't slept really since we got back. I can't sit without my closet freaking making noises all night long. Or I go and take a shower, and when I walk out, every door in my upstairs is wide open when I keep it shut. I had to take every mirror out of my house because
That's
I
a gateway.
trip out
That's a
because I keep seeing shit.
It's also a gateway.
Yeah, it has fucked with me so much since I went out to somebody's house one day, and I kept feeling like cold on my arm, and all my hair was standing up except for where I could feel the cold. And so I didn't want to start flipping out. This is the first night that I got back into town, right? I didn't want to sound crazy, so I was ignoring it. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, you hear music, right? They're like, no, I don't hear any music. I was like, don't you hear music? Because I could hear music. And I made them mute the TV, and I was like, you could hear it then. And I was like, where's it coming from? We have to find this. We went downstairs, radio was on, country music was blaring. And I said, are we the only ones in the house? And they're like, yeah. And I was like, were you listening to no, I wasn't listening to the radio all day. And then I go upstairs, and all the cat toys are freaking going off on the floor. And I was just
impressive.
like, I was like, dude, I gotta go. Like, I just had to leave. But every night, like as soon as I start falling asleep, things start like closet going crazy.
Well, nevermore. I
yeah,
do
he's
have.
gotten it really bad.
Yeah, nevermore.
I thought that you were less impressed with the Conjuring house, or at least that's what it felt like to me.
Melissa and I were talking last night, and she made a comment. like, well, you know, Boston, like you had most out of the two of you, like most of those experiences, and I was like, there's a lot Chris hasn't necessarily divulged or gone into a lot of detail. Chris's thing was usually get through the moment and then we'd talk about it afterwards. But we didn't get a lot of that on live. If I don't know if you agree with me on that or not, Chris.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to you.
Yeah, I know. Melissa had said last night that she was like, well, you know, out of the two of you, like Boston, you were clearly having the most experiences. Is that maybe because you were more fearful? Like, because Chris has gone through like the haunt community and like is more desensitized to fear. And I kind of stopped her and was like, that's interesting that you say that I had the most experiences out of the two of us, because I think we definitely had either the same amount or you potentially even had more than me. I think that you just I would say immediately when I was feeling things, you did sometimes, but a lot of the stuff was stuff that you and I talked about after the lives.
Yes. So I will say, one second, Wetro. We'll answer your question. I will say that there was a lot of times when we were on the same page that we were feeling the same energy and we kind of talked about it then and there. When I noticed certain things happening, the Conjuring House is a perfect example. Something would happen and Bill would be like, oh my God, it's a ghost, and start talking about, you know, how it did this, how it did that. I would look at it and be like, okay, I'm going to keep it to myself. I'm going to just observe. I'm going to watch. I want to see. So I didn't want to jump to the conclusions that every time something was happening, I would have like a reaction. And
whoa,
well, that's Meatfoot there.
Was that Meatfoot?
Yeah, that was
I know.
wild.
Has Meatfoot asked any questions? I want to hear.
No.
I want to hear more questions from Meatfoot. And
But,
Melissa.
Okay, if
I
my
just want to make sure
internet goes
everyone gets
crazy.
a chance to ask their questions.
Yeah, let me finish my thing and then we'll get to Amanda's question real quick.
Okay.
So yes, I did have a lot of experiences at the Conjuring House. I had one and just one.
Mm-hmm.
And I will talk about that on a different episode because it really fucked me up. Amanda, what's going on?
Okay, well, this kind of goes off of what Boston was just saying, or somebody was saying about Boston having more experiences. I don't think it was like a number of experiences, but I felt like they were very attracted to you and responsive to Boston. But I was wondering, because I was thinking about that, could it possibly be like, you know, how kids that are innocent and pure are more open to that type of stuff, and it's almost like spirits are really what?
I just had to laugh because are you saying I'm innocent and pure? Because that's the sweetest thing anyone's ever said to me.
Compared to half the people on this panel, yes.
Yes, that's exactly
you
what
could
I'm
have
saying.
a point. You might have a point. Oh.
But even just innocent and new to this aspect.
Right.
Like, I feel like they were drawn to you.
Oh, I definitely felt that too. That she was getting. I felt like we were getting very different experiences, boss. I know you say some of the same. Yes, there was a lot of. We could compare our experiences to being the same experiences and interpreted different, right? Like, I was really good. I mean, it's hard to say. Like, I felt like we had talked about this before. I feel like I was a good communicator, and felt like you were really good at being communicated through.
Yeah.
Kind of, right?
No, I agree.
Or channeling.
That really makes sense.
Yeah. I felt lots of feeling and emotion, and I felt lots of, I don't like to use the P word, but lots of inside me. On me, inside me, clinging to me. I felt lots of those kind of feelings. throughout
This
the
got
trip.
dirty quick.
Yeah, a little raunchy, a little raunchy. And I felt that Chris was just much better at vocally communicating and asking the right questions and tapping into who we were talking to. And they were very open with talking back to him.
So
I
what you're
think-
saying is Chris was better at oral.
Jesus Christ, Tim.
Oh my God.
Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
All right. I have one last
doing
question, and then I'm going to pop
the
off so
chair
everybody
for
else can talk.
the shit.
What was that,
What are you
Amanda?
guys coming out to California for Queen Mary stuff?
Amanda has really bad Wi-Fi and lagging, so if it seems like it's out of order what she's saying, that's because she's like in the sticks.
Okay.
I have Wi-Fi-itis.
Wi-Fi-itis.
Yeah, she has Wi-Fi-itis.
That's okay. My
Um,
sister caught tonsillitis this weekend. Poor
Oh
dear.
no. Oh, that sucks. I hope she gets better soon. To answer your question, Tim, I don't know when we're coming to California, but I know that our next trip is going to be to Michigan, possibly with Michigan and Ohio. There's a Pennsylvania trip. I mean, we need to sit down and start planning out. But I know our next trip is definitely going to be more like the, what's it called? The mid central United States. What's that area
Cool.
called? Where do you live?
Midwest.
Okay, Midwest. Yes, we're the Midwest
All right.
area. But I can see us doing like maybe 1 or 2 a year
Yeah.
if we're
Hey.
smart and can budget and all that.
I
All right,
did
cool.
I did
I'm
put
gonna
a
drop
20
off.
on the nightstand for the prostitute ghost.
Yeah, drop off, but start saving your pennies now, that guy, and anyone who's really interested, because like Chris said earlier, it would be like our dream to do a 1-year anniversary. So like a year from now, 1-year anniversary at the Borden house and rent the entire place out with
Count
our
me
friends.
in. Lizzie Borden
people that are-
2.0, the electric.
Yeah, our
boogaloo.
only rule though, Tim, our only rule, or I should say my only rule, and yes, I'm going to be that bossy Boston bitch, is that the people that join us on this, I want to be people that are going to take it seriously.
No,
It's totally
totally
cool
serious.
if you're a person who's a skeptic. Totally cool if you're a skeptic. Totally cool if your main priority is like, I want to debunk this, I want to debunk that. I think that's important. But my number one thing is like just respectfulness, seriousness, and if
No,
the spirits are
all right.
feeling
Being
so-
funny, then
skeptical
we
or
can be
trying to
funny.
debunk doesn't mean you're not a believer.
Wait.
Exactly.
Wait.
I'm a believer.
I will be respectful, but I want to provoke. Like I want to
Yeah.
be the guy who's sitting there, like, all right, come on, show me, come on, come at me, grab me.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's just ways to go about it, and I think what Chris and I
All right.
learned were there's certain, you can feel it, you can tell. Like when we were at the Salem Inn, Chris was trying to provoke bad, not in a bad way, but he was really trying to provoke. I don't think provoking would have been the right thing to do at the Lizzie Borden basement. And you just feel it as it happens to you. You kind of just go with the vibe that you're getting at the time, I guess.
All right, Heather says she's going next time, so I'm going. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I miss you guys. You're awesome. I
I
loved
miss you
this
too.
crap.
I'm sorry we've been so busy.
No,
I love you and adore
this
you.
is good.
I know. Congrats on the new job, whatever it is, by the way.
Oh, congrats, Tim.
Congrats.
You weren't supposed to say that.
Sorry.
Doc,
Oops,
sorry.
I didn't say
Sorry.
shit. I just said congrats.
But anyway,
She said it.
Blame
love you
Boston.
guys. Keep it
Blame
up.
Boston.
Yeah,
See ya.
hashtag
And
blame Boston.
I always blame Boston. I love you guys. Good night.
Please
Yeah, I'm gonna hop
stay-
down in the chat, but I love you
Okay.
guys, and this has been amazing, and I'm really looking
Yeah,
forward to The
thanks for coming up.
Conjuring, and I want to hear all about that.
Cool, cool.
Do you mind if I
Awesome.
stay for emotional support for Chris? Because I got a support animal.
Oh, Garfield. Thank you. I think we're probably gonna close this up though and say just our finishing thoughts.
Okay, I'll leave.
But-
But thank you
but
for
we'll-
having me.
You're cool. Hang out up here till we go. Hang out up here with us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Betty. I'm a little bit shaky right now. That's okay.
So yeah, this has been super fun. I hope everybody enjoyed this. The next video, what we're doing Salem and Colonial together, because there ain't a whole lot with Salem so far.
We're gonna do, for anyone who's been waiting, we're gonna, the next live that we do, because it's gonna include Salem and the Colonial Inn, we're gonna do reaction videos of me going through those 2 haunted houses.
Yep.
Purposely haven't watched so that we can react in real time. So that'll be fun.
Excuse me.
Did you not see when she went through the 2 haunted houses?
Me? I think I saw, but I wasn't. I didn't
It's just
stay
me
for the.
screaming.
It's just
Oh,
Boston
God.
screaming.
Oh God.
Terrified.
He did see when I fell at the Conjuring house, though.
Oh,
He
I
told
did.
me
I
the
did.
other
I
night.
did.
Yeah.
Everybody
poor
saw
woman.
that shit.
Oh God,
Yeah.
you poor woman. You fell over a tree, right?
Oh no, I
No,
just
that was just her feet.
on ground. That was just my
Oh
feet.
God,
She just
I'm
tripped over her
sorry.
feet.
Yeah. I
Hey,
think it was a
Garf-
rock.
It's alright, bossing. Me and Garfield love you.
Oh, I love you too, Garfield and
Hey,
Retro.
can I quickly tell you guys where I got this scarf? I got it from a viewer on my channel.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, that's sweet.
And I also like to update people because I'm actually doing an event, if that's okay.
Yeah, go for
Yeah.
it.
Are you going to talk about what I think? Is it a retro?
Retrowing, everybody. So on my channel, Retro Scorpion, I know my thing says retro, but on my channel, Retro Scorpion, from October 1st through October 31st, most likely on October 31st. I don't know yet. I might just do my own thing with my family. But mostly through that month, I am doing a marathon called Retroween, is where I showcase gaming content, retro content for
sweet.
Halloween, websites, all that stuff. So I hope you'll be there this October.
Absolutely. I'll try to
And
make as much as
Garfield
I
will be
can
there.
for sure. Awesome.
Garfield will be there. I'll be most likely, if I get a costume, doing a sleep stream every now and again with the costume on.
Oh yeah, I love your sleep streams. Oh, costume sleep streams. That's a good idea.
Dude, I need to seriously start buying costume pieces. I don't care if they're thrift store or cheap store. I need to start buying them. Hey,
Awesome. Well, thanks
and
for
Nevermore.
joining us.
Yeah.
Godspeed, man.
All right, man. So everybody, thank you for joining us. We will be back maybe around a week. I don't know. I want to do it soon. I don't want to wait a week after. So soon we're going to come back, talk some more after we watch some more footage, and we can't wait to start playing the next trip. If there's certain places that you guys want to see, message us, let us know where you want us to go and ghost hunt, because we will add it to the list of places. What, you got one, Retro? You got one?
Oh no, I just remembered there was something that Zork wanted me to show you guys in my collection. I think you'll love it. Hold on,
Okay.
stay here. I think
Okay.
this will benefit your stream. Hold on.
All right. I'm waiting.
Hold on.
Oh, thank you so much, Amanda C.
Thank you. And thank you. And friends, shameless plug us, please. It would be awesome to get this channel to 500 subs so that we can get a community post to do updates.
Yes.
You guys hear me still from this?
Yeah.
From me? Okay. So me and Zork were talking. I went to a food pantry today. I found a Lego magazine.
Okay.
And the Lego setup is literally you guys. Hold on.
What?
Oh, sweet. It's the Ghostbusters?
Oh!
No, it's Ghost Hunting Legos.
Ghost hunting.
Ghost hunting Legos.
Nice.
I'll look for the page. There it is. I'll have to show this.
Oh, that's so badass.
Let's go ghost hunting. That's so cool.
Lily,
Thank you for sharing that.
Lily, that's Nevermore. That's you with the long hair and the beanie.
Yeah, there
Oh
we
my
go.
God. That's awesome.
That's so awesome,
Thank
man.
you.
It's literally like fate God's plan.
Absolutely. That was a good
I
call.
love
Zork
it.
told you to share that. And Zork, yeah, I've heard, I know there's a lot of history in North Carolina. I definitely see us going down south too, at some point. So yeah, it's just a lot. It's overwhelming because it's we, I hate to keep speaking for Chris too, so I'll say but I think he agrees. We just entered this brand new world. it's like a veil has been lifted, and it's something we're both extremely interested in. We're going to continue to do and learn more about. We're on this journey with you guys. So, of course, anyone who has experience doing this kind of stuff, anyone who doesn't and they're just interested in it and they want to get into it, like, let's create a little ghost hunting family here.
Yeah.
And have some fun.
All right, y'all. Thanks again, and we will be back. Everybody have a good night. We appreciate your support. Like,
Thank you.
subscribe, share. Let's get us to 500. I know people keep asking about Venmo. I would rather have the community tab. Help me get that, and then we'll start doing some Venmo stuff. But for right now, that's goal number 1. So thank you all so much. We appreciate all of you. Bye.
Yes, thank you. Good night.